Hello.
All right, I'm gonna get the recording started. Let me get rid of this thing here for everyone. Okay, very good. All right, so you guys know we always like to start with one of our core values. For the people that are sitting in today, we have 13 core values that we believe very strongly, and that we try to portray these core values in everything that we do. And it's all about real estate with soul. But what we're going to talk about today is the same thing I talked about last week, to be honest with you, because several people said something to me after the meeting that they really enjoyed hearing this. So I'm going to go over our core purpose, our vision, and our mission. So what we do, we help people find and create a home that feels like them. Why we do what we do, which is our mission statement: creating homes, building community. It's real estate with soul. Our vision statement is where we are going: to encourage home ownership and make all components of the residential real estate process, which is design, brokerage, lending, construction, and now pool and outdoor, easier, more accessible, and more enjoyable than ever before. We accomplish this by providing access to the best one-stop shop real estate experience across the state of Texas, and a curated team of experts that provide unparalleled quality, value, and customer service. We take extreme ownership for both the success and failure of any project and role we are tasked with. So that comes down to a lot. There's a lot in that little bitty statement there. But the thing that I like to point out is that, I'm going to make some announcements today that some people are going to be teaching classes over the next 2 weeks, and they get to take extreme ownership of that content and how they present their material, their expert status to the other agents in the office. And that's what I try to do every time that I present something, is I want to bring something of value to each one of you. I want you to get a little bit deeper knowledge. And you know how somebody, like on a radio station, and they tell you, please call 1-800-555-1234. That's 1-800-555-1234. Again, 800. And they do it 3 times because it takes 3 times for our brains to understand and comprehend something. So the things that I go through sometimes as the broker and as the brokerage manager, I may hit it 2 or 3 times because it takes that long for it to sink into our brains. It took that long for it to sink into mine sometimes. And I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but when you teach, you actually learn a little bit more than what the people that you're teaching learn. And so it gives me a better understanding and helps me prepare you guys for the next phase of where you are in your careers. Okay, do some announcements real quick. I think that you saw in the weekly email, Greater Fort Worth Association of Realtors dues are out now. Those need to be paid before the end of the year. December 31st is when they're due. But it would be great if you get those done like early December or now.
I'm always looking at me.
I'm looking at everyone because I owe them too. I owe them the same amount that you did. But we need to get those paid because that's one of those things that they don't, the day after that January 1st, I'll get like 10 emails saying they didn't pay their dues. Then I got to call you on New Year's Day and go, can you check on the website, please, and pay your dues? So if you can get those done early, that would be fantastic.
Okay. I don't even think
That was my next.
I updated mine.
That was my next thing. They have an auto pay on the Greater Fort Worth Association of Realtors website. It's down at the bottom, forms. The bottom one says auto pay. Set it up. Please set it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Voting. We are now in early voting. And so you guys know what's at stake here. We've got the new law that's going in for the homestead exemption, and it's going to go from $40,000 to $100,000, which will save everyone a lot of money. So we all need to be telling our people, vote. That gives you some social media content, ladies, about voting. It'd be a great idea to go to a voting precinct and say, hey, we're realtors and we support 1, 4, 6, 7, 8.
When did early voting start today?
Last Monday. It's been going on for a week. Okay, announcements. This coming Saturday is Parker County's Party on the Patio at the Antebellum Ale House in, is that Weatherford? That's not Weatherford. So the tickets are in that link that I sent you through the email earlier this week. So if you need tickets, are they still available?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we have some.
Yeah, there's still some left.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please go out and support them. I will be out of town, or I will be out there supporting you. I put on my Richard Simmons.
It's going to be a great band.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Red Iron Fish.
Red Iron.
No, Red Iron Fish, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we have vendors. We're doing a trucker hat bar.
Oh, nice.
Stuff, permanent
Um,
jewelry,
yeah.
she has leather
Yeah,
stuff.
in other words, a few holiday things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The painted feathers.
yeah, and then, yeah, 2 drinks.
Cool.
on us.
2 drinks on us.
Yeah.
Very good. So if you can go out to Parker County this Saturday night at 7.
Yeah,
Doors open at 7:30 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah.
7:30.
So, for the Fort Worth, Dallas people, this is the goal of this is to just brand awareness for Parker County. And so people know that we're in Parker County from a construction standpoint, but not necessarily from a broker standpoint. And so obviously we're going to have a lot of content. We'll just push it out. And so if you get that, just reshare or repost, just anything that has to do with like, hey, we're in Parker County. Just that's kind of the goal. And so like, I don't expect you guys to drive an hour to go to
What are you saying,
necessarily. If you're in
Just kidding.
Plano,
I'm
I'm saying.
Megan, you don't have to go.
To go there for a book of business, if you're not gonna be a part of, but it'd be cool to support in any way, and that would be reposted.
And
I will be there though.
do
Come on.
keep in mind, if you do come to Parker County, to be very conscious of your behavior and responsibility, because they love to pull people over from Annabelle and Mel House.
Okay.
FYI. And Ubers are not readily available in Fort Worth like they are here. So,
In Parker County like they are here.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I know what you meant. Okay.
FYI.
Very good. So breaking news, this is hot off the press. Next Wednesday, Miss Kristen Hope will be leading us in apartment leasing for realtors, 101, I guess we would call it, the basics. That sounds good. The basics. And so Kristen will be leading our mastermind next Wednesday at 10 a.m. on how she makes pretty good money doing apartment leases. And I think Megan is going to chime in as well.
Yeah.
And so they'll have a lot of good stuff for us next Wednesday. Also breaking news, the following Wednesday, which is also 100 Days to Greatness graduation day, Brian Wright will join us at 10 a.m. for an hour with an appraisal. So he's got some presentation stuff that he wants to bring. And so he'll be joining us at 10 and then 11:30 lunch, which we'll have a celebration for graduation with 100 Days to Greatness. We made it 14 weeks.
Went by really fast.
Did it? Yeah. Yeah. And congratulations to Pathway to Mastery. Everybody graduated yesterday. So woohoo. Yay. Got 8 weeks in on that one. Okay.
On the 100 Days to Greatness, folks, I have this idea for next quarter, and Chris, we talked about this yesterday, but if you guys on the graduation day, I want to like get with you guys a little bit and get some feedback on. I want to like take all the content that they give, that they're like, hey, do these postcards, do this, email drip campaign, whatever that is, and like 6th Avenue-ish it, and like market it and like rebrand it. So like us create some of these forms that whenever we do 100 Days of Greatness, or you guys are continuing on your sets, like I'm sending out these postcards or sending out this letter. I'm like, that'd be cool for us to have a template for them to give and like add to that.
Like continue to do it after class.
Yeah, continue to do it post 100 Days of Greatness, but we give and provide some of that, like all the marketing templates for it. I think that'd be a really cool offering to add to you guys next quarter.
Right.
So like it'll take a while to create all that, but I think that's so I just want some of that feedback. So I'd love to do that then.
And we would like to, we've been talking about it. We talked a little bit on Slack of just having a time, not like a real like meeting. It's not really like to really, do collaboration, but really kind of sort of accountability where we come up like on like Tuesday mornings, for like an hour or two, just you can come.
Write your
no pressure,
notes.
don't have,
Yeah.
but just to kind of be like, hey, figure out your notes, do this. Okay, hey, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
and just trying to kind of create, some sort of consistency for yourselves and all of us to kind of hold each other accountable to kind of implement these activities continuously.
Yeah, it's been really helpful for us to do that.
And so also on the 100 Days to Greatness front, even though we're finishing, we had the spring of 23 class. We now have the fall class of 23, and I have now booked, and we'll see if we have enough agents to participate. I need about 6 to 8 people to participate, but I've got a spring of 24 booked from February 14th through May the 15th. It's 14 weeks there. So 100 Days to Greatness will run every Wednesday from 11:30 to 2 o'clock. And everybody that has taken it has taken either Pathway or 100 Days. Some people like Joanna, I think that you said you wanted to do 100 Days at some point. So we'll be running that in the spring for 14 weeks, and I'll teach that again. And then maybe do Pathway to Mastery next fall for the people that just completed 100 Days to Greatness this fall. December the 6th. Okay, so let me kind of back up and give you a little bit of, we have 2 Wednesdays in November, and then we have the Thanksgiving break. So there will be no masterminds the last 2 Thursdays of this month. It'll only be next week with Kristen, the week after with Brian Wright, and then we'll take 2 weeks off. Then we'll do 2 weeks in December, but they're not masterminds. December the 6th is going to be the agent website day, where if you don't have a website, we will help you create one based on the 6th Avenue template in Squarespace. We would love to be able to help people that already have a website do all kinds of really cool stuff to it, but we're realtors, we're not web designers. So we'll do what we can. We'll help you where we can. If it's based on a Squarespace or something that we can figure out, I'll also be glad to sit down with you and do that. So if you're watching this on YouTube later and want to talk about that, we can talk about that the first couple of weeks of December. But the 6th is the website website creation day. And then the following Wednesday will be using your website. You will have control of it by that point, and we'll be able to, Jamie will be here that Wednesday, and we'll be talking about how to use your website as a funnel, how there are things that you can be doing to publicize that website, get people to go to it, and then using those to bring it into the Real Scout platform where you can market and nurture those people. If you haven't noticed, Real Scout changed 2 weeks ago. It's now Real Scout Pro Plus, and they automatically, if you have less than 100 people, they give you the ability to auto nurture those 100 people. If it's over that, they'll give you the opportunity to buy spaces for another 100. I think it's like $39 or $49, something like that. But you get 100 people auto nurtured, which that means they're sending them stuff once you turn them on. Plenty of video on how to do that inside Real Scout Pro. So just go take a look. If you want me to help you look at it, I'd be glad to help you look at it. Do not forget the 10th, which is Sunday. We will be having our 6th Avenue Christmas party at Joe T. Garcia's. What's that?
It's like the,
Chapel. It used to be a church of some type.
yeah, it's like the, I don't know.
They call it something.
If you look
across
at
the
Joe
street.
T's, it's to the left.
Yeah. It's across the street from the front entrance of Joe T. Garcia's, but that'll be at 7 o'clock, I believe. 6th Avenue Christmas party. Please clear your calendars because it is a Sunday. Should be easy for everybody to make a Sunday night at 7 o'clock. Really? Okay. All right. So let me look at the calendar. Let me look.
But also don't forget on that 9th is
The 9th is the Christmas extravaganza too.
What's that situation? Like what's going on?
That's extravaganza or the party?
Yeah. The
So,
extravaganza?
Extravaganza,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
here.
just so you guys remember, is it's gonna be here at the office. And if you want to participate, then you go fill out that form with Kayla, Kayla 50 and sit down, to order a pie. And you're basically, the point of it is customer appreciation.
Okay.
So you bring as many customers or, and basically buy them a pie. They'll be here, and then they can also take pictures with Santa and the live reindeer. Mr. and Mrs. Claus, rather.
Yeah.
So it's all customer, appreciation. Like, hey, our company's putting on this event. It's free to you guys, obviously, unless you want to buy a pie from them. If you don't buy a pie from them, just email out literally all your customers and just have them come take a picture. And we'll have like some cookie decorating.
Cookie decorating and holiday drinks and stuff.
And so that's a pretty sweet event for
Yeah.
customers.
Yeah.
And we'll have Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus and one live reindeer.
Live reindeer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna come in to take pictures of the reindeer.
Yeah.
I'm super giddy about it.
I love Christmas stuff so much. I'm like, anything Christmas, I'm down.
Yep. So that's on the 9th. That is from noon until 4 p.m. Pictures are from 1 to 3, but you do have to, if you want to buy your clients pies, what I did is I set up a Google form and then made a total massacre of it with all my clients. Had to email them 3 times in one night. People were texting me at midnight. Are you emailing me? The Google form was off that night. So anyway, I got it fixed the next day.
But we
Um,
have the example on Slack.
Yeah.
So just
Yeah,
copy
but-
and paste it, yeah.
And like we talked about, the apple and the pumpkin are the two cheap ones. The pecan is like $17.
Yeah, I would get all pumpkin.
A pumpkin
It's like
or
six-
apple are
it's
like
$6.99
$5,
or
$6.
$5.99, Yeah.
And Sam's Club, I did this last year, Sam's Club has, like, you get them in mass, like, really cheap.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's what
at
we
Costco.
Costco.
Yeah.
They're that expensive?
Well,
It
pecans
just
are-
depends on your
Pecans-
ingredient.
Pecans are very
Pumpkin's
expensive.
fine.
Because I feel like I remember only paying like,
$12 for it last year or something like that.
It's
Yeah.
like 5 to
Inflation.
7
Yeah.
with
Love it here.
pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm about to do market update. We'll talk about that.
Yay.
The price of pecans, I'm just kidding.
it's like avocados, like all over again.
Yep.
Like you're like,
So,
yeah.
So if you want to buy your people pies, get them to sign up on a Google form or email you back. Then you'll need to get that list to Kayla so that she can go get the pies. You'll need to pay Kayla for the pies, and then they can come and pick them up. I think right now I've got 6 people coming that I got to buy pies for. So
And I think your pies need to be ordered and paid for
By that Monday.
by that Monday. Cause I really, we just like Kayla, I don't want her to run around with her head cut off trying to
No.
find orders like.
No, we changed it. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. The Wednesday
Like
right
the
before
22nd.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. That's we
So just
changed
make
it.
sure you have your order in and your money to her, cause
Yeah.
she's like, we're putting it like in her personal Venmo, so I don't want her to have to go and, be short.
very good. Okay, so let's talk about the market update. So I'm going to show some slides here in just a minute, but I'm going to give you some big numbers. So just close your eyes for a second and think about these numbers. From September, now that's the last data that we have full accounting on because we don't have October because that was yesterday. From September, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we had 6,735 houses sold. That's 13% fewer than September of 2022. Homes are selling for 96% of list price, and that average days on market is 44 days. New listings are down 10% year over year, but active listings were up 5%, and that's because they're staying on the market a little bit longer. New financial numbers coming out stronger than expected. Some major prognosticators are betting on rates dropping in Q2 into Q3. So that means that we're talking about early next summer. End of spring, early summer is when they're thinking it's going to happen. Tarrant County this morning had 4,288 actives today, and our report tells us this. And let me present this real quick because this is, of course, you know me and my mouse. Hang on a second. Where is that thing? Oh, it's a window. Sorry. Oh, I closed it. Hang on. Okay, let me present this to you. I got to present it to them too. Hang on. This is so much fun. Escape that. I don't need that way. I just need to present. And it's not doing it like I wanted to do. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're good. All right, so let me share this with you guys. I pulled just some basic numbers so that you could see them, and you're going to see my slide. I don't really care that you see my slide. I'm not trying to be all fancy and stuff. Ignore that. All right. So I'm going to show you the Texas numbers first, if I can get to it. So here is, this is from MetroTex. This is for the entire state. I need to turn this down just a little bit so it knocks down the glare. Not glare, good. Okay, so median prices. This is from September 2023 compared to September of 2022. Median sales price was down 0.1%. Not bad. Active listings are up 15%. Closed sales are down 14.4%, and we have 3.7 months of inventory. That's statewide. Now, I'm going to break it down as we go from state down to a much better number. This is the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So median price is down 1.2%. Closed sales are down 13%. Active listings up 6%, and we have 2.9 months of inventory. If you guys are ever thinking about what is, when they say months of inventory, what are they trying to tell me? So right now, Texas A&M Real Estate division school, whatever they call that.
The magazine.
Yeah, the magazine that you get in the mail. They're telling us right now 6.5 months of inventory would be a perfectly balanced market. 6.5. It used to be 5.5 or 6. It's at 6.5 right now. So them telling us that we have 2.9 months of inventory tells us that it's still a seller's market. It's below that 6.5, it's sellers. If it's above 6.5, it would be a buyer's market. Most of you have never seen a buyer's market. Most of you have been in a seller's market your entire career. I've been in a buyer's market. It's very, very different. It's a totally different feel when you've got, 7,000 houses for sale in a county, and you got people out looking at houses that at that time we were going through foreclosures. We would walk into houses, there would be no cabinetry, there would be no light fixture, there'd be no outlets because the people that lived there stripped everything out when they left. That was a buyer's market. That was really intense. Very different than where we are today. I'm going to go ahead and show you this one. This is the Tarrant County. Now you're going to see two different things here. The one on the left is from Greater Fort Worth. The one on the right is obviously from Metrotex. The numbers should be exactly the same because they're looking at the same data. This one just gives it. I like this one a little bit. I think it's prettier than that. That's just me. I like that. So in Tarrant County, we're looking at 2.5 months of inventory. One thing that some of the people that work in this office work a lot in Dallas. Megan likes to work in Dallas a lot. Maria does a lot of Dallas stuff. This is what Dallas looks like. The median price is up almost 3% in Dallas year over year. Active listings are up 16%. Sales are down 17, and then 2.7 months of inventory. Then I wanted to go ahead and look at Fort Worth because this is kind of an interesting slide here. You've got 1.6 down in median price. So we're down at 334 is the median price in Fort Worth in September. Active listings. Now, one thing that I thought was real interesting is right up here, and I'm sorry you people online can't see, but I'm looking at the little bar graph up here in the upper right-hand corner. Majority of houses are falling in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range, 37%. But look at the number of 200 to 300s that are there. That's stunning to me that we still have the 200 to 300, and it's 29% of the market.
That's a lot of the new construction.
That is. I just thought that was an interesting stat that when I was going through this. For my Parker County people, house prices are up almost 10% in Parker County, and closed sales are down 26%. Months of inventory, you guys are getting close to a balanced market at 4.8, a lot closer than the rest of the counties. For my Wise County, house prices are down 3%. Closed sales are only down 2%. So that means the market is moving in Wise County. Active listings are up 65% year over year. Isn't that crazy? A lot of new construction going on.
Yeah.
6.1 months of inventory. Almost balanced in Wise County.
It's so crazy that it's like
Yeah,
so
happy
such a
holidays.
proximity, but so different.
Yeah, it's very strange. And then there are a couple people that like to work the Johnson County area, and of course we can get stats from CTX if we wanted to do that. Be glad to pull those numbers for you guys. This is just the major counties that we have here with a lot of data. So Johnson County is up 12%. Active listings are up 10%. Sales are down 23%, and they have 3.5 months of inventory. I just thought that was really interesting to see just a brief snapshot of what the market is doing at all these different locations and kind of drill down on each one of those. Because we know if somebody's looking for new construction,
Wise County. Yeah.
Wise County, that's where a lot of stuff's going. Is it the Rolling V Ranch? Is that being, are they?
They haven't. So Reunion just opened, and then a lot of VR Hortons just opened, like tons of VR Hortons. But no, that's the 10,001.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, they have. Well, I guess the first phase I think is like Reunion,
Mhm.
probably.
Okay.
That has started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know Blue Stem's out there too, and
Blue
I've
Stem.
sold 2 in Blue Stem.
Yep. At the VR Hortons.
That's the Dior Horton community. Yeah. Anyway, I just was thinking about that when I was going through all this stuff. Okay. Let me stop presenting that for a moment, or fully, if I can find my mouse again. Hang on. This mouse stuff confuses me.
I'll give a quick update.
Please.
So looking at the real estate numbers, and then I've read a lot of real estate reports, and everybody's very I would say bullish on the interest rates dropping in quarter two. But if you look at like all the consumer reports, and I'm kind of looking at this like holistically as a market, the consumer reports and then the inflation rate has not like dropped like the Fed wants it to, and the Fed's the one that controls the interest rates. And so I don't think that it's going to drop in quarter two. Like it's like we'll see at the end of December or January. But I think as agents, like I don't like it's funny because the real estate reports specifically like for Texas, they're very like encouraging, and the NAR too as well. Like everybody's really like, man, quarter two is when it's going to be. And I'm like, oh, I think it's going to probably be a blend of, because if you look at any of the commercial reports, they're like 2025. That's the year. That's like when everything's going to like ramp back up. For residential, everybody's like 2024 quarter two. I think it's probably going to be a blend. I think we expect the interest rates to keep on rate, like literally maybe raising at the end of this quarter or like the first of the quarter one. And then I think it's going to be it's going to be a really big turnover at the end of Q2, quarter three. And spring will just help in general. But I think just like as we prep for 2024, I don't think we like pessimistic as the market sentiment. The market, so sorry, I'm kind of like nerding out on you guys, but I look at this stuff all the time just because we do construction and pools, and so it affects us as well. And so like market sentiment and like people's buying like ability and like heart to buy, this I don't know how to describe it, but everybody's still buying a lot and spending a lot of money on houses, on everything. So on construction even with the interest rates higher. So that combined with higher inflation, I think we'll still have like a healthy market for residential real estate for sure. I just think that if you have those like high-end buyers, it might be a little bit tougher for them to get qualified. Like what they qualified for a year ago, it's not going to be the same thing. I know recently we were talking about that. And so I just think you got to be aware of that and definitely like not promise them like, oh, it's going to drop. Like you, if anything, you promise them it's not going to drop. Like they like, this is the time to buy. Like you're not going to get a better deal. And when the rates go down, like see ya. Like you're not going to get. You can always refinance, but you're not going to find that lower house price. And so that's the messaging is like, have you read the consumer reports? Have you read the interest rate reports? Have you read the inflation report? Like the house prices will not be going like down. The interest rates probably may go down, but maybe not. But you buy now and refinance later. Like that's the rule. If you're like trying to be a billionaire, like buy right now. When the house prices are dropping, you buy then, and then you refinance it whenever they're crazy high. You get a low interest rate, and then you can sell.
Well, and it's kind of silly. I mean, I haven't experienced this like in like my personal like buying and selling of real estate, but like if you talk to like say like my generation of parents or whatever, like this became like in the 80s when interest rates and inflation were so high, this became like a trend every 6 months. Like I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was like that lead or whatever in Weatherford, and they were talking about it. These people were probably in their 60s or whatever, and they were like, we refinanced every 6 months because that's just what you did. So I just think it's a trend we haven't seen before. And like the people that are home buyers, millennials, late generation X's, even the Z's that are starting to buy houses now, like we're just unfamiliar with that territory. So I think it's really good for us just to feel like it was normal in the 80s when we did this.
And that sometimes can be a hard sell for people that are looking. What the problem that they're having is that 2 years ago I could have bought at 3%, and now you want me to pay 8%. And I bought my house at 3.5%, and I need a bigger house, but I'm not willing to give up the rate. Okay, that's completely fine. I understand that. But are you willing to pay more for that same house 6 months or 8 months from now than it is right now, as much as 10% more? As we looked at all those forms all those reports we were looking at, with house prices being down, now is the best time to buy.
I thought I'm like, it's your deal, even though it's not.
And what do they call it? Like, is it really a refinance or is it a recasting?
No, it's not. It would have to be if you're going to let it sit for 6 months, it's going to be a refinance. But most of the lenders that are out there right now are going to do Sean's doing free refinances. Several people are saying, hey, we'll do it, we'll refinance you. We'll just get you a new loan. 2 years from now.
Yeah.
And when rates are down. Now, I wanted to show you something, and this is not bashing what Jimmy said. This is from MF Lending. And this is one of the things that Tanner always talked about that he watched every day. So I got on there. This was from the 30th. So 2 days ago. These are the interest rates. So right now it's running 7.875 for the interest rate with no buy down. But if you buy it down a point, it only drops at about $70 a month. Buy it down 2 points, it buys it down 150. If y'all remember, we were talking about we can get a seller to do a 2-1 buy down for $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000, depending on the price of the house. And you can buy that rate down to 7.375 for 2 years, and then down to 7.6 for the second year. That gives us time for rates to drop. And when they drop below 6, some of the things that people are saying is when it drops below 6, it could be very nuts. It's that wave that we've been talking about.
Yeah. Six is that.
I think even if we get
5.85 is-
6.9, like I think once people see the 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5.85 is like the rule of like, it starts to get insane.
It can get real insane. Okay, so let's move on. We've got about 20 minutes left here. I wanted to hit a couple of things. October recap, and this is for us, not for Texas, DFW, or Tarrant County, Dallas County. This is for 6th Ave. So we had 10 closings in October, that versus 6 last year in 2022. So that's like 70% better, but 6 to 10. That's a good jump, okay, in October. And we are just 19 short from hitting the same number of closings that we have all last year. We were at 174 for the entire year with 6th Ave. We're at 155 right now. I think Jana's got one closing today or tomorrow, so we'll be at 156. So we're getting closer. We're only 5.78% behind last year's total volume. So we've still got 2 months left and only 6% behind. The news of everything that we've talked about here is that buyers are buying. Continue to preach to, marry the house, rent the rate, or date the rate, however you want to say it, because there are houses out there and there are good ones. And I actually ran into a multiple offer situation last week. I know, craziness. Well, I was on the buy side, so it didn't work out.
Yes.
That's okay. I do want to celebrate though, October closings. Ray had a closing, so yay, Ray. Andrew had a closing, yay. Megan had a closing. Maria Gonzalez had a closing. Elizabeth had a closing. Joanna had a closing. Yay, Joanna. And then in Bell County, Cherie had a closing. Yay, Cherie. And in Parker County, both of y'all had a closing, one each. So congratulations, everyone. Okay, couple of things that I wanted to hit, that this is just kind of follow up to everything that's going on. There's some things that you may not hear it all the time, so I just want you to be aware. Okay, so did you know that having contact info on an MLS photo is against the rules?
Yeah.
That means a sign in the yard. Having any information like how to contact somebody in a photo on MLS is against the rules, and you can be flagged for that. And that's number one. MLS status, anytime you do, go from active to contingent or kick out or to option, you got 3 days to get that done. If you don't, you get that status thing in the email, and I get that, and I have to go, hey, did you, that kind of stuff.
The reason those two things, like whenever you guys know, we started a brokerage and I didn't have a license yet, right? So we started practicing license, and those two things, I promise, like if like an agent, like we had a multi offer situation, and it's like, well, we didn't go with this one person. Every time I got flagged by the person that didn't get the offer. like, we saw your sign on there, and I was like, well, I'm sorry. I was like, you saw your numbers, contact information. We're gonna, do a track report. I'm like, but like, petty agents.
Oh, so like taking a picture of your
sign with your
and then
number
putting the
on,
picture on MLS.
That's against the rules. You
And
can't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was just taking
They're
pictures.
trying to
and-
market it, yeah.
So you take.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What is it? If you take a picture of what?
Okay, so if you
Your
take a
sign
picture of
in
the
the
front of
front
your house and you've got your sign in the front yard, that is against the rules.
Look at the pictures, look at the sign.
Are you talking about where we live?
Yes, when you list a home, if your sign is facing forward, one trick that you can always do is just take your sign and turn it sideways and then take the picture from the end where you can't see any contact info. That's
You're
completely
talking
fine.
about pictures that are.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay.
That you upload to MLS.
Has your phone number on
Gotcha.
Can't have your contact information anywhere in MLS.
Or an MLS.
I said on a committee, and that's one thing that we taught, that's our job is
The
to,
contact info is on the MLS.
it is, but it can't be in the pictures.
Yeah, it's because it syndicates to other websites,
Yeah.
all that way it doesn't affect buyers.
I know, it's just the rules.
Not changing it to, not changing it to under contract where it's like, I went with this, buyer and the other buyer didn't get it right. As soon as like that 3 days was up, boom, I'm reporting you to, follow up or check. I'm like, oh my gosh.
And that's what I said on the committee with Metrotex. That's what we did is we just literally, when a truck complaint would come in, I had to sit there and listen to that agent in a video, tell their story of what happened and why they did this. And then their broker has to be on the call with them. And then we would turn them off and the 5 of us would decide what their penalty was. And the least that we ever charged was $750.
The least.
The least. The first violation is $750, the second is $1,500, third violation is $5,000. And that has to be paid within 10 days.
Or you get kicked out.
Or you lose your membership in the association. Okay. Using other agents' photos without their permission is a no-no. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Wait, what?
You cannot use photos from the last time it was listed.
Right.
I had,
I have a question about that because I follow all these Facebook real estate groups and people are saying that legally you can't even share anyone's anything.
You're not
without
supposed
their
to.
You're supposed to
permission.
get permission.
You would
Plus
have to
your
have a
permission.
photo release.
Yeah. So if you shared their post or if you just recreated your own post with.
the second part will be bad. The first part will be
If
fine.
you shared their post, it's got them in it, which obviously I don't do that. Okay, so if you, so in Real Scout, when I share to Facebook, it acts like it's just a listing. People think it's my listing.
Right.
If they click it, they have to like log into my system to be able to see it.
But I think you,
That seems kind of.
I think you would probably be covered under board rules because that's a syndicate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I
Yeah.
wondered.
It's publicly on
Right.
there, yeah.
Because we're.
But like if you go like, but if you go like say you go to MLS, you download those images onto your desktop, you create that, and then you go reshare that, that could be a
Yeah.
copyright violation. So, yeah.
Yeah, permission.
So what you're doing is fine because it is syndicated already.
Or if you take your own pictures, like if you're at the property, and you show the property and market the property, is that okay too? Because I don't think that's still okay.
Well,
Yeah,
if it's not your listing, you
Yeah.
technically have to
You
have
have to
permission
say
from
who
the
they
broker.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll say on
Yeah.
MLS.
Yeah, it says that they have consent.
Yeah, consent
I
to
mean,
do audio and
I-
whatnot.
That's what I was thinking, because it
And
does say on
video.
MLS whether you have consent.
It would still be best practice to call the listing agent and say, hey, I'm going to market. I love your house. It's cool. I'm gonna do some marketing on it. And they'd be like, sure, go ahead.
I'm never gonna deny an agent
Yeah.
to.
No.
Even if it says no, I'm like,
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's all that.
Yeah, I can see there's some texture.
it's always the older.
And I would
agents.
always just make sure if you
Yeah.
are.
'Cause they don't understand what you're
marketing other
doing.
Properties for other brokerages, I would always make sure to have something in writing that has your email. Because if they swill, you're like, yeah, good. Yeah.
So next thing is clear cooperation. If y'all remember that rule came into effect about 3 years ago, clear cooperation means that when you start marketing to the public, you have 1 business day to get it in MLS. That was what, on that committee I sat on, that was like 70% of what we did. Because somebody would put a sign in the yard and then they wouldn't put it in MLS for 2 or 3 days. And an agent would drive by and go, here's the time marker, here's the sign in the yard, and it didn't go in MLS till here. And they would send us those pictures, and that's a $750 fine. Now, there's a trick. 1 business day. So you'll see me a lot of times on Facebook. I'll go out to my listing and I'll do a video walkthrough and I'll start marketing on Facebook and putting pictures up because I'm going to put it in Monday morning. And that is 1 business day. It gives you that weekend to get stuff done. That's a trick that I use because I'm still hitting that 1 business day. Now, if I go take pictures on Thursday, I got to hold them till Friday before I can do anything. So just keep that in mind. If I wanted to remind you guys about RPR, a couple of weeks ago, I was showing somebody here in the office, and they weren't familiar with RPR. Please get on there and play around. There's tons of video. There's a link that says learn. They've got tutorials and videos. RPR is a great resource for you to be able to use. Did you ever hand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's gotten better over the like past couple of years
Mhm.
too, because used to I'm like, that's not even right.
Mhm.
Like, but I feel like it's gotten definitely much better.
And because they're using just real data as opposed to what Zillow's
Yeah.
estimate thing does. Okay. Renewing your license is important. If you have a license coming up, and please get it done in advance, because some agents, if y'all remember a couple of months ago, Rapatoni got cyber hacked, and it shut down all the associations, including part of Trek and Greater Fort Worth and Metrotex, and agents that needed to get their license renewed weren't able to do it. So Trek recommends at least 10 days in advance. I would love 21 days in advance. If you get your license renewal, please get your CE credit done or SAE done and get that stuff into Trek and get it paid for so that your license is renewed on time. It still goes to the end of the month that you renew in. So if you renew in February the 2nd, you get to February 28th or 29th, depending on if it's a leap year. If somebody needs those SAE stuff, like I think you're probably going to be up for SAE. You got to have 270 hours to renew on SAE.
Don't stress.
Good, Gracie, go. CE, and also just so you know, the SAE now has the 30 hours of real estate brokerage required, plus 4 hours of Legal 1, 4 hours of Legal 2. That's for SAE. CE now requires 18 hours, which 8 of it is the Legal 1 and Legal 2. You have to have 3 hours of contract-related classes and then 7 hours of elective CE. All the CE stuff we've been doing here in the office, that stuff counts. Every one of those, that could get you 7 hours easy. And I'm going to have some more CEs coming up at the beginning of next
Is
year.
there one, I mean, I know title companies do it, but like one thing we talk about is, I hate doing legal 1 and 2 online. I do it because it's just easier and I can do it. But have you had someone come in and do that class here? I mean, I know that.
No.
Can we do that someday?
We can. I can have
I
one
just
of
think
the
that would be
attorneys.
more beneficial for
Even JC.
agents.
I probably could get JC or somebody. I know that Baker Firm really wanted to do a CE class for
I
us.
just feel like doing Legal 1 and Legal 2 in person is valuable. I mean, I just did mine online, but
And
there's
she
just
cried
so
the
many
whole
more.
time.
Imagine that.
There's just so, but I just think there's so many things that are unfolding, especially now in the real estate industry. And I think it's so good to hear about how you can get hung up again.
Okay. Maria?
Okay, so ethics is the only one that we have to go through NAR, right?
Right.
Code of Ethics but that's only once every 3 years. The next cycle begins January of 2025. And that has to be done by every realtor every 3 years.
And where can we check if we're covered?
You go to the NAR website, which is nar.realtor, and then log in. And then there is, once you go to your account, you'll be able to see on the left-hand side, it'll have your account information. On the right-hand side, it'll say Code of Ethics compliant or something like that. But it's in the nar.realtor website. I checked mine yesterday. But everybody, y'all still have your licenses. So I think we're all,
Don't we all do it at the same time?
it's everybody has to do it once every 3 years. And with the new stuff that happened yesterday with the lawsuits out of Missouri, we'll see how that's going to go. I'm hearing that it will be years before this is settled. And it really won't affect us personally at all.
I think 2 years of appeals.
I'm sorry?
I think it'll take 2 years to appeal.
Well, I saw one guy say that it could be 10 years before it's finally settled.
Well, what's the goal?
The goal is,
I mean, I
okay,
know
so
that the situation that happened, but I'm like,
what do they want? Yeah, they want, apparently what the sellers that filed the class action lawsuit wanted was they got to near the closing and then realized that their realtor was going to be paying a buyer's agent. And they didn't want to pay the buyer's agent. They wanted to keep that money,
so it's not that they just didn't run the contract.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I got it.
Did you also know,
Yeah.
just FYI, because y'all know I'm a nerd, but did you know that they did not allow testimony on how we've been paid for over 100 years into the trial?
Well, that's a great reason for appeal.
Yeah,
So
It's like-
we'll see how that goes. Let's just not worry about it too much. Taja's watching it for us, so I'm just gonna let her watch it. I'm not gonna keep track of
Don't
it.
worry,
Before-
once it's calling.
Tasha, I walked in yesterday morning, she's like, did you see this? I'm like, okay.
And I love to argue with my friends that are in TAR and NAR. I love to give them, in fact, Jason, yesterday, my friend was like, I'm gonna talk to you at the end of the week. And I was like, you betcha. Because they're in leadership. And I'm like, and I mean, just because if they're in leadership in Texas or NAR, I mean, primarily they represent us and they do need, and not to be a dork, you should sort of know what's going on because you pay dues and these people represent you.
Mhm.
And they should be a reflection of what we want the industry to look like,
That's right,
not the opposite. So remember, we're sort of their clients as well.
pretty much. Yep.
So I just think I
Well,
know
you're
it's
an office
important.
representative to.
Yes.
You're our tar
You're a
representative.
pundit.
Well, you be my attorney.
Jimmy, you want to add anything before we
No,
get
that
done
was
today?
great. That was great.
Okay, congratulations to everybody for October. Let's try to have a real strong November and December. If you need help, talking to somebody off the fence, please come talk to Jimmy or I. We'll talk them down and get them to buy something. But now is the time to buy. I think we have maybe 4 or 5 months of good buying with prices hovering at, not high prices like they're going to be when this stuff breaks. That's our office meeting for today. Thank you for joining us, and we will see everyone in Parker County at Weatherford Saturday night at 7.
Yeah, doors open at 7.
Doors open at 7. So other than that, we'll see you next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Kristen will be here with apartment leasing. Looking forward to that. Have a great day.
Thank you.
I didn't even see you sneak in.
I'm real
Like
sneaky like
making,
that.
You make your presence known.
I like Megan's celebration things.